I am a transsexual woman, and so there's transgender and there's transsexual. So basically the difference is transgender is just like a broad term to describe someone who identifies as anything outside of the gender that they were assigned at birth. And then transsexual is someone who is actively taking measures like through like medicine or surgery or whatever to affirm their identity. Yeah, so that's what I am. And then I'm pansexual, which means I'm just attracted to anyone. So even when I was younger, something that I always used to get asked is, are you a boy or a girl? You know, I think people were always asking me that from a young age. Or when I would go out places with people, they would ask the people I'm with, are you a boy or a girl, you know? So it was always a thing of me. I think I've always looked a bit like confusing, you know? And I've seen how family can react to you and keep you closed up, keep you in the house. They don't want their family to see you. They don't want their friends to see you. They're embarrassed of you. They, you know, your friends, their friends are asking them questions like, what is wrong with your child, you know? Why is your child this way? And so I think that from a young age as a kid, you can see that that's happening. You can notice kids are not as dumb as we think, you know? So I think you can feel when you're an outsider, and that's something I definitely felt. And so I just knew from a young age that I wasn't safe even in my own household, and that if I acted a certain way, I would get into trouble. If I tried to be a certain way, I would get into trouble. And I think one of my first memories is in being in you know, like in creche, and the children are laughing at me because they're like, Jordan walks like a girl, or Jordan talks like a girl. And so, yeah, from a young age, I think it can be traumatizing. It can really leave scars. If you're always feeling like people don't want to be around you, or people don't want to associate with you or be your friend. You know, when you're young, you just want to have friends. And you just want to be invited to the party, or you just want to, just be a part of the group.
She was a pastor's kid, so they had a level of prominence in the church. So, and for the number of years that I worked at the church, she was very respectful, very polite. Obviously, she was following the strict binary gender lines that were there. She grew up as a boy. We referred to her as Jordan, a guy one of the male students at the church, and I only discovered that she was trans way later, after I'd moved on from the church, and when I bumped into her in other social circles in Zimbabwe.
My family is Christian, very Christian. Both my parents were pastors growing up. So I grew up in the church, and so I would kind of shame myself. I remember one day I promised to God that I would never, ever, ever kiss a boy again in my whole life, or sleep with a man, you know? So it was just a young age, 12, I'll say 12. In a lot of spaces I will show up, they won't know that I'm a trans woman. They won't know that this is my background, or this is who I am, or, you know, they don't know anything about me. And so a lot of men get a rush from that, of knowing that they are walking with this taboo being or this taboo person, and nobody knows that I am who I am. And so kind of find myself in a lot of situations where people just want to keep me a secret, keep me hidden, keep me behind closed doors. Or if I want to be open and in love with them, they don't want it to be known. They want it to be a secret. They want to keep it under wraps because they're afraid of their reputations. They don't want to be known as being associated. I think many people would just say you're dating a man, so you're gay, you know? But I think it's more complex than that. When someone is attracted to me, they're not attracted to me because they think I'm a man, you know? They're attracted to a woman because they see a woman and that's what is being presented. There was an experience I had with someone from the ZANU-PF party, and he works, I don't know if he works there anymore. I won't say if he does or if he doesn't. But he used to message me. He found me on Facebook. He used to message me and tell me that he wanted me. This man used to send me like his naked pictures. And there was a time he said to me he wants me to come and live in his flat, in his, like, because he had a house and then he had a flat, so I would just stay in the flat and then he would come and visit me whenever he had free time. So I would be like his little toy whenever he wanted to play with me. And so I think for a little bit I was interested because who doesn't want to like live in a flat on their own and have someone pay all the bills and drive them around and buy them food and buy them nice things. And so I think for a little bit I was interested, but he was very, I think I'll say mentally abusive. I think also even he would have become physically abusive if I was to do anything. Because he used to say to me, don't ever tell anyone because it won't end well for you. It won't be good for you. You know, there will be consequences. And he used to make sure that no one was ever around. Sometimes I would be sitting with like my phone like this, and you'd be like, show me the phone so I can see if you're recording or not. And so it was tense. It was very tense, and I just didn't want to get caught up in that because we know the history of our ruling party. So I wasn't trying to be another Itai, what's his surname? Zamara. I wasn't trying to be another Itai. I wasn't trying to be another, who else? These women, the MDC3. No.
Life took us on another journey together of working together, where we work by the HQ Collective, which is Hierarchies Collective, and the work we do is really providing a safer space for the queer community in Zimbabwe to come and meet and mingle and talk to each other. And we are really creating a space that is building a bridge, you know, where you can see the queer community from south of Samora and from north of Samora, the white queer community, the black queer community, the rich queer community, the poor queer community, really coming together and just be in a space. And this is the journey that we've been journeying on together for some time now.
One of the things I will definitely say about Jordan is I feel like she's one of the bravest people I know, because to be out and open and transgender in this country, you need to be a strong person. And I think that's why I respect her so much, is because she's unapologetically transgender. She's unapologetic about who she is, and she's willing to be that person she's willing to take all of the first blows so that life gets better for all of the other transgender people that come in after her.
Definitely there are issues. There are a lot of issues where people are being taken to the police. I think for myself personally, the most that's happened is, you know, like the police being called because I used a women's nightclub bathroom. And then someone in the bathroom was complaining to the bouncer that they don't think I'm a woman, so I shouldn't be using the women's bathroom, so they feel unsafe. And then like them wanting to phone the police, or people wanting to detain you or hold you, or citizens arrest. People still think they can arrest you as a citizen. But yeah, things like roadblocks and all that, it just becomes a joke. I think now in 2021, it's not as rough as it used to be. Back in the days, like you'd get beaten up, you know, and I think because I'm still very young, I missed a lot of the worst days. I missed the worst of it. The people who came before me, who are now in their 30s and 40s, they really and truly felt it. Where you could get beaten up, where you could spend the night in cells, you know, like the example I gave of Ricky Nathanson of being taken to the police and being kept in the cells and them doing exams on you and treating you like an animal. So for me, I think I've been privileged enough to not have a lot of contact with those kinds of situations. I haven't gotten my driver's license because I don't want to encounter that. I avoid, don't hate on me guys, I avoid voting because when I go to those polling stations or when I go to register, it becomes a thing. It becomes like a lot. I'm not going to go to a polling station when I tried to go and vote the last time to register to vote. It was a situation of, are you a man? Are you a woman? Are you a gay person? Or what are you doing? You know, and then it's, should we take you to the police station, or what are you doing here? So for me personally, I try my best to avoid those situations where there's going to be a police officer or I have to deal with my official documents, just because I don't like the inconvenience, not because I don't want to do the things. I think to avoid the inconvenience, I think a lot of trans people avoid those things because no one wants to be the center of attention. No one wants to be made a fool of.
No, we create these labels, you know, but behind those labels that we've given people are human beings with feelings and emotions and minds that contribute to what happens in Zimbabwe. And, you know, I think looking past that, you find that we could be isolating a lot of beautiful, intelligent people who could be contributing meaningfully to some of the challenges that we face as a country.
Our politicians are afraid to give honest and straightforward responses to how they feel about the queer community. And I think at the end of the day, it needs to come down to an issue of what danger does the queer community cause to our society? If there's no physical danger, like are they a group of murderers? Are they a group of thugs? Are they a group of thieves? No, it's literally what two people decide to do in their bedrooms. That's literally what identifies someone to be in the queer community.
There's something I was saying on Twitter the other time when the whole Zimbabwean Lives Matter thing was going on, and what I said was, the reason why it's so easy for our government to deny us access to our human rights, as all of us, common citizens, we are all denied our human rights, regardless of whether you're LGBTQIA+, or if you're straight and part of the normies, you know? We all don't get our human rights. We don't have access to, in a lot of communities, there's no running water. There's no, you know, our votes mean nothing because it just gets rigged, allegedly. It just gets rigged. And so I think if you're denying the marginalized communities human rights and you defend them, you allow your government to do those things, it'll be you next. And we've seen it. It's been you next. We've all been denied our human rights in this country.
In Zimbabwe, if you're queer and rich, they don't bother you. You know what I mean? You know the saying, they say, "Kuti anemari ndiye mkuru," or something like that. So being able to make money is a safety net for us. You know what I mean? And that comes through a lot of hard work. It's not because it comes because you're queer, but it's really, you know, like trying to, how do I create a safer ground for us? Because we cannot necessarily get it from everywhere. Most of the people, their parents are still, you know, not accepting, and you don't want to risk being disowned, and you don't want to risk losing your family. There is a lot that comes by being queer that you are trying to protect yourself for. So that money people are talking about, it comes through a lot of hard work and sweat.
The basis of the idea of God is that God is love and you're supposed to love thy neighbor, and it is on God to be the judge. And so I think unless someone has been appointed as God's, you know, secretary, receptionist, or if they have direct like WhatsApp contact with God, then I don't think you should ever speak on behalf of God. You know, you can be a good Christian without being a Power Ranger, you know? You don't have to be a Power Ranger for Jesus Christ. You can be a good Christian and do your thing and be good, and you will go to heaven. Don't worry about me, don't worry about someone else. Worry about yourself. and your 5 small houses and, you know, sleeping with people and, you know, sinning and swearing and whatever. I'm not trying to judge you. I'm just saying we all have our differences. We all do things. We all live a certain way. I'm not trying to also say that being LGBTQIA+ is a sin. It's not. I think it's just we exist. We are the way that we are. We are who we are. And some people are, some people are not. Some people are blind, some people are not. Some people are, you know, have long hair, some people have short hair. Some people are tall, some people are short. Some people are gay and some people are straight. Some people are trans, some people are not. So I think just knowing that because we are humans, we're part of nature, there are different flowers out there. There's a rose, there's another kind of flower, there's another kind of flower. Not all flowers are going to be the same. Not all dogs are even the same. Not even all cats are even the same. Not all birds are the same. I can go on and on and on forever. That like there's so much to be different that I don't know why when it comes to human beings we want everyone to be the same. It doesn't make sense to me. It will never make sense. We can't be the same. We will never be the same. Even the way I speak, even the way I chop up my shona, we will never be the same. We will never be the same. So, yeah.